Hi everyone, welcome to Eat to Treat. We are a nonprofit that aims to end health disparities, and I'm Dr. Amaris Williams for Eat to Treat, and I do live cook-along cooking demonstrations every first and third Saturday of every month. Uh, and I'm an avid foodie and a cook, and I have a PhD in nutrition, so those are my qualifications. Um, and we do diabetes friendly and hypertension friendly recipes. Usually, all recipes are hypertension friendly. Some of the diabetes friendliness has to be a modification, but we do those recipes every first and third Saturday, like I said, and I post the ingredients ahead of time on the internet on our website, eat-to-treat.org, so that you can join me in the kitchen and we can make a delicious meal together. So today we're making green curry. I would say Thai green curry, but I've substituted a lot of ingredients to make it something that you can make from stuff that you can find at a regular grocery store and not a specialty grocery store. So I'm going to call it green curry, but it's still delicious. So let's get started. I'm going to change the camera angle. The first thing is we're going to make the green curry paste. You can buy green curry paste um, in a regular grocery store. They sell it. It's not cheap, and it has a lot of salt in it. So I'm going to make my own today. And making your own is not very difficult. All you need is a blender, and instead of using a mortar and pestle, which is the typical way or the traditional way of doing it, we're going to use a blender, and we're able to use a blender because we're using spices that are already ground. So the first spice is cumin, and you put about a teaspoon of cumin in your blender, and I forgot to get a teaspoon, so I'm just going to eyeball it and just put some cumin in there. You can't really go wrong with cumin. I love the flavor of cumin, so I'm just going to put a generous amount in there. Then we want half of a tablespoon or 1.5 teaspoons of coriander, and this is already ground coriander. And I'm just going to pour some in there, about half a tablespoon worth. And then the next thing we need is hot peppers. So at my regular grocery store, I was able to get Thai green chilies, and these are fresh, they're not dried. And this is what they look like. And you can throw about 12 or 13 of these in your blender jar. Or you can use, if you can't find these at your grocery store, you can use serrano peppers. And I've got 2 serrano peppers here, and this is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to cut them in half to make them easier to blend, but it's not really necessary that you cut them if you have a bigger blender than I do. Next is the jalapeno, and I'm just going to use half of this. The jalapeno is for pepper flavor, not really for heat. The serranos is what's going to give the heat. So if you wanted this to be a low heat recipe, definitely use less serrano. Maybe just 1 serrano. Alright, so I got half a jalapeno in there. Next up is some basil. So if you have Thai basil, which I couldn't find at my regular grocery store, then use Thai basil. Otherwise, use regular basil, the Italian or American or whatever it is basil, and just get, now these basil leaves are ginormous. Look how big that is compared to my hand. It's huge. I'm just going to put maybe 1.5 leaves in there. But if you have normal sized basil, you might want to put 3 or 4 leaves in there. And then keep that because we're also going to put some basil in the curry itself. And then I'm going to throw a couple of mint leaves in there as well, because Thai basil has more flavor than regular basil. It has a more minty flavor, so I'm going to throw a little bit of mint in there with it. And then I'm going to keep that to the side because we are also going to put mint um, in our curry. So next up is some cilantro stems, and it's okay that if you bought a whole bunch of cilantro like I did, you can use the rest of this bunch of cilantro as garnish when you make your curry. I don't know why I can't think of the word curry when I'm trying to say it, but okay. So I'm just going to grab some stems and break them off and throw them in my blender. And maybe a little bit more than that. I do like cilantro flavor. Some in there. Okay, then I'm going to put my bunch of cilantro to the side. And the next thing that goes in there is some lemongrass paste. And you can buy this at a regular grocery store as well. It just comes in a tube, lemongrass paste. And we're going to put 3 tablespoons in there, so put a decent amount in there. And then ginger and garlic paste. Sometimes you can buy garlic and ginger together as a paste, but I like to buy them separate so that I can just use ginger when I want and just use garlic when I want. But I believe, let's see, how much am I putting in? Garlic paste, we're putting in 2 tablespoons of garlic paste. And ginger paste, we are putting in much. 1.5 tablespoons of ginger paste. The authentic version of this would have galangal in it, and I couldn't find that anywhere, so I'm using ginger. It's in the same family as galangal. Alright, let's see if I missed anything. Oh, lime zest. So I've got a lime here, just a regular Persian lime, the regular lime that they sell at the grocery store. And I'm just going to cut some of the skin off. And if you have a sharp knife, you can do this, or you can use a microplane. But the idea is you try not to get too much of the white part of the skin. Try to cut shallow cuts and just get the green part. But it's not that critical. The white part is more bitter, and that's why we're trying to avoid getting that in the paste. But if you do, don't cry. It'll be okay. So lime zest, throw that in there. It doesn't have to be small like a microplane will get it, because we're going to blend it up. It'll be cut into little bits. Okay, so that's about enough of that. And you can reserve the lime, like the cilantro, and use it as a garnish and put it on your plate when you're done, and then you can squeeze it over your curry if you so desire. The next thing that's going to go in there is shallot. And I've got a small shallot here, and this is in the onion family, so if you can't find shallots for some reason, you can use an onion. And I'm going to cut the stem and the root off this time and just cut it into big chunks and throw that in my blender. And then the last thing that goes in there is fish sauce. This is optional. Fish sauce has a lot of salt in it, but it has a unique flavor. I wouldn't recommend smelling it because it smells pretty bad, but I like the way it imparts flavor to dishes. So that's it. Now we're ready to blend it up, but you probably will need more liquid in there. So the liquid we're going to use to make this work is the coconut milk that we're going to add to the curry anyway. And this is, let me show you before I open this up, light coconut milk, and that just means it has less fat in it. And the reason why it's very important that you use light coconut milk is because coconut milk has saturated fat in it, and that's the bad fat. Unsaturated fat is more healthy for you, but saturated fat is the one that's associated with high cholesterol. So definitely want to avoid saturated fats. So light coconut milk it is. So just pour some of that in there. Set that aside because we're going to use the rest of that. And go ahead and blend your paste. All right. This is going to be loud. I apologize in advance. And that's so much faster and easier than using a mortar and pestle. And I'm just shaking it because the curry, the coriander and the cumin that were on the bottom of the blender thing didn't get mixed in as well. So I'm just going to shake it until they're mixed in. And that's it. Now, we can pour this with the rest of the coconut milk in our pan. I wouldn't recommend sniffing this because one, it's got the fish sauce in it, and two, the peppers are very spicy in there. So I got my paste in my pan, and don't lick your fingers either. I know it's tempting, but you will regret it. This is very strong. But I'm going to use this spatula, scrape it out of my blender jar. There. Okay. Now, we're going to put the rest of the coconut milk in there. So just go ahead and dump the rest of the can in the pan and then turn it on. I'm at 5 out of 10. And I'm just going to stir it around a little bit. Yeah, definitely don't sniff the green curry paste because even without sniffing it, it's making my eyes water a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to cut up all the vegetables that are going to go in there. And I'm going to start with bell pepper because that's what I want in first in my curry, because I don't like the flavor of bell pepper by itself. I like it when it's cooked into something, and so I want it in there cooked in with the rest of the curry. You just saw me cut the sides off the bell pepper and then throw the middle away. That's the way we cut bell peppers, because they're kind of like boxes with seeds inside, and we don't want the seeds in our dish. We just want the sides of the box. So, and I'm just going to slice it and then cut my slices in half and go on ahead and throw it in your pan. So again, I'm just slicing it. Hello there. Sorry that you're late. All we've done is made the curry paste, and if you bought your own curry paste, then you don't need to worry about that. But If you want to make your own curry paste, which is the benefit of that, is that it has less salt and fresher ingredients, less preservatives. The benefit to that is, oh, that's what I just said. So then I would go back and watch the video again. Oh my gosh, curry paste is making my eyes water really bad. Okay. I'm going to put the top on the curry paste. Alright. Alright, the next thing I'm going to put in there is the portobello mushrooms. Oh my gosh. So I've got 6 ounces of portobello mushrooms here. If you have a hood over your stove, definitely turn it on. And I'm just going to slice these and then cut the slices in half the same way I did the bell pepper. Or rather, I'm going to cut them in half and then slice them like this. So just big slices, chunky slices, about 1/2 inch in size. And then throw that in there. Alright. And we just let that cook. The only other vegetables I'm going to put in there are bamboo shoots, which are already sliced. I've already got the sliced bamboo shoots. And some eggplant. So, I thought about putting carrots in there, but I'm actually out of carrots, so eggplant it is. This eggplant has been soaked in salt, or has been salted, and then let the salt draw the water out. Then I let that draw the water out for about an hour. Then rinsed all the salt off and the water that was drawn out. And the reason why we do that is because eggplant, at least older versions of eggplant, used to be really bitter. And some of the newer eggplant is still kind of bitter. So, we salt it, draw the bitterness out, and rinse it away. Now that all my vegetables are cut up, I'm going to cut my chicken. I do not want to cut my chicken before I cut my vegetables, because then I've contaminated my vegetables with chicken juice, with salmonella. So, alright, now that my vegetables are cut, I'm going to cut the chicken. And I'm just going to slice it. And you can see the little lines in the chicken. That's the grain of the chicken. Kind of the muscle fibers, if you will. And you want to cut across the muscle fibers. So not in the same direction that they're going, in a different direction, perpendicular to them. And that will give you the tenderest meat. And then go ahead and throw that in your pan. These are pretty small chicken thighs. I'm using thighs. You can also use breasts. You can use any boneless, skinless meat that you like. And don't forget, on occasion, to stir your curry. And really, once you get your chicken in there, that's it. I mean, we simmer it until the chicken is done. I'm going to add my eggplant before the chicken is done and let that cook. And then the bamboo shoots I'm going to add at the very end. So, but the bamboo shoots, they don't break down, so you don't have to add them at the very end. You can add them now if you want. If you want to just have it, everything in there, so you don't have to worry about forgetting it, because I forget ingredients all the time, as you well know. Okay, and last one. Now, some recipes for green curry will say after you've added your green curry paste, still add yet more fish sauce, which you can if you taste it at the end and you find that it still needs more salt or more umami. You can definitely add more fish sauce. I think that adding more fish sauce is something to do at the end after you've tasted it, not at the beginning before it's finished. And the other thing that these recipes often call for is brown sugar, and that's an adjustment at the end. Again, after you tasted it, you'll add your brown sugar then. Alright, I'm going to throw my eggplant in there. I'm probably not going to put all this eggplant in, because it's a lot. And I got the smallest eggplant I could find, but it's still a lot of eggplant. Put about half of it in there. And the last step is just to let it cook. Until the chicken is done, and the eggplant is done, and the mushrooms are done. Alright, let's talk about serving this up. So again, I did say that you can put cilantro and lime on there to not waste the lime that you zested and the cilantro that you bought, so that you can have some cilantro stems for the green curry paste. But you probably also want some type of grain on there, and that could be rice. I'm going to be eating mine with wheat berries because that's what I have on hand. I also have rice, but it's not cooked, but the wheat berries are cooked, and I'll be putting this on top of the wheat berries, and it should be good. Any grain that you like, probably you can serve this with. I think it would be kind of weird with corn, but to each their own. And the serving size for cooked grains is a half a cup. So, and then you'll know exactly how many carbohydrates you have. And I don't know off the top of my head how many carbohydrates are in a half a cup of grains, but if you are on insulin or trying to watch your blood sugar, that's the serving size that you should follow. And then you can adjust your insulin accordingly. And that's it, really. I mean, simmer your green curry until your chicken is done and all your vegetables are cooked to your liking. And there's no more left to do. So let me just do a little outro. Hello again. So today we made Thai green curry, or green curry that's been Americanized, and it's a diabetes friendly and hypertension friendly meal. And click the subscribe button and the bell icon to be reminded of the next demonstration, and I will see you next time. And the next demonstration will be the first Saturday of July, so I will see you then. Thank you for joining. Bye.